he's making.
Yeah, and like, look, he's good at like being nice to you when he sees you in person and like putting on the like, hey, how are you? Yeah, it's
Right.
so, oh my gosh, yeah, you did great in that last video, like, stuff like that. But your actions speak louder than words, and louder than the 15 minutes when I see you in person.
Right.
Like, the fact that our pay is still so incredibly low.
Oh,
I did a video that I'm gonna release later today on my YouTube channel, but it basically talks about like, the atmosphere of when we started doing collaborations with like influencers and stuff like that. The way we were treated as the actors who were really recognizable faces of the brand and were the reason why his company has gotten to the level where these influencers even wanted to collaborate with him.
right.
But the way we were treated was like, you go hang out with the extras. You're like, no, don't talk to the influencers unless they want to be spoken to. Like, we were just like these peons, like, ew. And I'm not saying that influencers did that, but that was the energy that you were getting from the studio.
It was like, know your lane, like how you don't speak to them because you're like a degenerate almost.
Yeah, it was very much felt like that. And that was so, but there was always kind of that vibe of like, we're not good enough. Like, we're not cool. And I'm sorry, like, I've worked on productions where like I've been the star or the lead talent on like major productions and stuff. And I've never treated somebody like they were lower than me. Like it's a job, like PAs, which are like personal, or production assistants, sorry. And they're running around doing all these art, and they're kind of like the low. I don't think of them as a low man on a totem pole. It's like a pretty stable job, but they're people who are working their way up the ladder in production.
Right.
I mean, I would want to be like cool with them. Like, oh, I could probably learn something from them. They're smart. They're nice. They're probably going places, like this is just one step in their career. So like to put that thing of like I don't understand that. It's like a classist thing. It's very weird. It's very weird.
So I want to ask you some questions about, so I haven't really done that many videos since I wrote that letter. And I've done like 2, to be honest. And so, the last video I did was where I was a babysitter with Jay, and it's a great video. And the crew was like super disturbed that entire crew got fired, right? Joe's crew. So I want to know if you have any info as to like what the crew, which is a very crucial part of making a video or any type of content, is how they feel and what happened with them.
The crews are absolutely fed up with Dhar Studios. I mean, most of them, or at least half of them, have been fired as of very recently.
And like, like why?
I know that they're very unhappy with the work environment. It's more toxic for them even than I think it is for the actors.
Right, because we're there like 5 days for one shoot, then we go off and do another production and forget even it exists.
Right. So they started out doing, well, not started out, but like as of the past year when most people were hired, or where a lot of like these guys were hired within the past year and a half, I think they started shooting videos 5 to 6 days a week and were like aiming for 7 days a week. So a lot of them at first were very stressed because they would have like maybe one day off. They would work like 6 days and then have a day off and go right back into production. And a lot of times when they would be like, hey, this isn't like sustainable for us. We're working 12-hour days shooting, but then like also we have to break all the equipment down and we have to take it here and we have to do that and we have to go over the scripts and we have to go like, so they never had a day to just rest. And whenever they would kind of say, hey, we I need to take a day off, or like they would try to scooch the shoots and be like, oh, actually we're working like 7 days in a row. And it was like, actually, no, we're not working 7 days in a row. We have to take a break. It was like, you're punished. It was like, oh, so you can't handle it? Oh, I didn't realize that we hired somebody who couldn't handle so that's very, very toxic. And then, with the directors, there's a lot of things that like there's safety issues. There's a lot of different concerns that happen in filming, and especially when you're dealing with kids, safety issues that's very, very important. So the more they started working with children, like the directors are very, very cognizant of like, oh, we don't want to break that rule, or we want to be careful about this. Darman Studios doesn't really care because a lot of times following safety protocol is that costs money. Like you have to get certain permits to have like to have a crossing guard block off the street so that if you're doing a scene in the street, there's no chance that another car is going to come by and accidentally hit the kid or something like that, right?
Right.
But that costs money. Permits cost money. Crossing guard costs money. It's not a lot of money for them, but they don't want to spend it because it's better if it's in their pockets. So it's one of those things where it's like, just get the shot and go. Like, what's the problem? So they would call, head of production and stuff and be like, I think we should not do this because blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, just get the shot. Just get it. So, they're risking themselves. They're risking talent. And, I think so. A lot of them were very worried about it. They've had multiple meetings about their concerns. And it's always told to them, okay, we'll handle it. Yeah, we'll handle it. And it's never handled. Nothing changed.